In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to take apart your Xbox 360 and remove the DVD drive. It's a very simple procedure. Simple reason why you would need to do this is because it will save you a lot of money in postage in the long run. If you want your Xbox 360 flashing and you don't know anyone locally that'll do it, then your only option is to send it off for someone else to do it. The problem there is that you have to trust that person enough to send them your Xbox and then send it back to you, and I can say personally I probably wouldn't do that with some stranger. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to get the DVD drive out of the console, which is the only important thing that you need. That's the only thing you need to send the person who's going to flash the console. Now I can flash this console for you. I have done a lot of them before. I charge £20 for the flashing service. That will work with any version console, no matter whether or not it's the original core, the premium, or the elite version like I'm showing here, or even, depending on when you're watching this video, even the new Xbox 360 Slim. Right here I've got laid out everything that you're going to need to take the console apart and take out the DVD drive. Now, the first thing you're going to need is a very small tip flat screwdriver, which is just a standard thing there. They're really cheap. You can get them from Poundland and whatever. And a Torx 10 driver. It doesn't matter if it's a security driver or whatever. As long as it's a T10 fitting on the end, that's all you need. Okay, so put those aside. Only 2 screwdrivers that you need. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously remove the hard drive. Don't worry about this little wire I put, that's just a modification I made. And remove the faceplate. Not going to be doing that. Okay, then you're going to take your small screwdriver. It doesn't really matter if it's a flat tip or not, as long as it's really small, because all you're doing with it, you're not actually doing any screws, you're just using it as a little flicking tool. You need to put the driver through, what I'm doing here is putting it through the second hole from the edge, right there, and second hole, there we go. Use it to flick up the clip that's holding on this grill. It can eventually get on, there we go. Same goes for that one. Okay, that's the first 2 out of 6 clips in this grill. The other ones are a little easy. You just have to find the center of the grill, and you can just about see a little plastic clip inside. Clip on that there. Same goes for that one. So we'll do that one later. So we'll do the other side. Okay, hold it all over the way. And this side, nice and easy. Just gotta find the clips. They're a little tricky. I want to do it that way. Yeah. A little tricky, but once done it a few times, it's quite easy. For the most part, you can see where the clips are. You'll see the little tabs sticking down. These things here, you'll be able to see them sticking down. So you just have to push those in. And you can then remove the grill. So that's the top one. The bottom one, same story. Just have to find those clips. There's the first one. One. That will come off on its own. I have had this console apart before, I'm just doing this to show you. Almost there. There we go. That's the grill's work. That's probably one of the hardest things to do, to be honest. It's not very difficult to do this. Okay, now, it doesn't really matter which order you do this in, you just have to basically take the shell apart. It's not hard. The only tricky part about this is the back panel uses a unique clipping system to hold it together, and this is another reason why you need a very, very small screwdriver. And for this one, you're probably better with a flat tip screwdriver, although I guess you could do it with a very, very small Phillips. Wouldn't lie. I always start at the top, and a lot of people start at the bottom. Good for them, doesn't matter. Okay, now what I always do is I use my left hand to try and pry away the shell, and just one by one put the screwdriver into those little holes. Now obviously I've had this console apart before, so that came apart a little easier than it should have. But you basically have to just keep putting the screwdriver into the little holes at the back, and it will clip off one by one. See, pull that apart there. And the same goes for the bottom. Just turn it around. Just gotta unclip them. A little tricky, not hard to do, just fiddly. Come on. There are tools that you can buy especially for doing this, but given that you can do it yourself with your screwdriver, it's not really worth buying. I don't have one myself, and I don't have them on some of the Xbox that must count. Okay, there we go. Now you need to remove the clips on the front of the console, here, 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 and one at the top. If you have a console which has never been opened before, you need to break this security seal here. Sometimes they put the seal here, but just make sure that you break the seal first. Okay, I'm going to just unclip all those. Nice and easy. All 4 of them. Okay. Okay, now we've got the lid off the case. We need to take out the 6 bolts holding the other side of the shell in place. These should be obvious. There's only 6 of them, and they should look slightly different to the other screws. There should be some more screws just here on the front of the console. These ones are screws for the main board. You don't need to undo those. There's 2 more there. There's some at the back there, some at the back there. You don't need to touch those. The only ones we're bothered about is the 2 front corner ones, this one in the middle, this one in the middle here, and these 2, which are slightly in from the back of the console. Those are the only 6 bolts we need to undo, so I'm just going to undo all of those right now. Okay, now we've removed all the bolts. We can just put them to one side. We need to remove the eject button, which you can just unclip from the front. You literally just have to just wiggle it off, which just comes off like that. Okay, put it away. Now, what you'll find is those 6 bolts were in fact holding the other side of the lid in place. So we can now just take that off, just like so. And now we have inside the console. Now, this bit's pretty easy. Now, there are a few modifications I made to my console, so it might not look exactly the same, but I mean, there's not a lot of difference. All we need to do is remove this part of it, the DVD drive. Now, mine hasn't because I've already removed it, but your DVD drive will probably have a seal on the bottom here, just a little piece of tape. You just have to peel it off. It's just to create conductivity between the drive and the shell. You peel it off and just lift out the drive from the front. It should just lift out. There we go. And unplug the 2 cables connected to it. And there we have the DVD drive. That's the only thing you need to send. The rest of the console and all the pieces that go with it, your hard drive or anything, or even your control pad, I know it sounds obvious, but believe me, people do ask that question. You do not need to send those. The only thing you need to send me is this. This is what I need to flash your console. So you send me that in the post. I will return it with the latest firmware and all of the games that you want to go with it. And all you have to do is plug it back into your console exactly the same way that you took it out, and put your console back together, and it will work. Well, it should work. If it doesn't work, then we'll go from there. So, assuming now that you have your DVD drive, which I've already flashed with your firmware, ready to play your backup games, it's just the same procedure, putting it back together. Plug in 2 cables. They only go in one way, so you can't get that wrong. Line it all back up with the hose. If you have that tape peeled off, you can stick that back down. It doesn't really matter. And put the lid back on. Just like that. Nice and simple. Turn it over. Make sure you put the eject button on at this point. All you have to do is get the eject button and just clip it back on where you pulled it off before. This is also a good way of testing if your case is lined up properly. If you press your eject button and it clicks normally, then everything's in line like it should be. But if for some reason it doesn't work, then you need to fiddle with the top panel to make sure it's in line properly.